All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Real Talk video with your boy JT. I pray y'all are having a wonderful, blessed day as we give the Most High all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise and worship. My title now says why land is so important. Why land, why property ownership is so important as the Most High laid this video heavy in my spirit. A lot of times in this life, people think it's all about money. You know, money, this fortune and fame, material things. But how many times in the Bible did the Most High show us how important land is? So I want to talk about something that these prosperity preachers ain't talking about. All this tithing and sow a seed in this, and you're gonna be blessed with this. And I want to talk about the land. The power of owning, the land. A question was asked to me about wealth in the Bible. Even now, like I say, most people are stuck on money, but the real wealth is in land. Why you think in the Bible so many times the Most High showed us this, and He would even take from the enemies and bless Israel with land? Even when you look at what's going on in Israel right now, you see so much going on with the land. And I'm going to say this off top. I don't like to use the term black people, but, black people. If you knew who you were, I'm not talking about everybody, but so many of us are lost. If you know who you are, if you really did, you would stop all this fighting each other. And I'm gonna leave that alone. In the Old Testament, our Father describes the Promised Land as a land flowing with milk and honey. When you go back to Genesis chapter 12 and look at verses 1 through 3, what did the Most High make a covenant with Abraham? What did he promise Abraham? What did he say to Abraham? He said, "Go from your country and get out of your father's house. I'm going to take you to a land. And I will make you a great nation." Catch that. A great nation. "And I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. And to those who dishonor you, I will curse them. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." See, this scripture is taken so out of content, because a lot of people are looking at, well, I need to be receiving this from the wicked. Yes, the Most High, He does uses the wicked to bless the righteousness. But see, we got to understand what the Most High is doing versus what Satan is doing. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And there's so many people out here that's so lost in the media. Let me just say it like this. The fake Jews, the ones who claiming to be Jews that are not, they're stealing everything. If you don't understand who they are not the real Jews. And that they have already been taken and robbing and stealing for years. That's why I said at the beginning, if you don't know who you are, then you're gonna continue to fight your brother and your sister, all the time. You're going to continue to look at this battle as a physical battle, that it is against flesh and blood, when the Bible says not against flesh and blood, but it's against those rulers of darkness. We are living in a time now where things are getting worse by the second, my brothers and sisters. By the second. When you look at this blessing on the land that the Most High promised Abraham, I always like to say a covenant, because the Most High ain't never went back on no covenant, regardless how bad Israel was. What the Most High said was going to happen, happens. Too many of us are in Satan's system, the government, taking care of, we're so used to the government taking care of us that we don't even have a clue on what the Most High system is. And I mean this out of love with no disrespect, but there's too many people that's been on welfare, Section 8, government houses, WIC programs for so long, and when you depend on the government, that becomes your God in so many ways. If the government shut off half of the people right now, they would lose their mind. They wouldn't know what they're going to do, because they've been following that type of system. That type of system. Most of us still fight each other over stupid stuff. Now in the Bible, after the Exodus from Egypt, the Jews were given the promised land. Now when you just look at that alone, and then you look at generation after generation after generation, what have we been doing generation after generation after generation? See, when you look at this type of prosperity that's never talked about nowadays, the Most High fulfilled what he said he was going to do. But you ever wonder why the enemy keep taking the land? The prosperity promised to Abraham required a whole lot of land. Prosperity in Abraham's time involved land. Having a whole lot of livestock, we could say. Look at what a farmer does. See, we're not even teaching this kind of stuff. That's why the land is so important. When you have land, why are you even worried about money? When you have land, look at how much you can do with land just alone. See, the Most High showed us Abraham being prosperous with large amounts of land. See, once again, these prosperity preachers, they keep talking about money, money, money. But look at land, land, land. This shows you how lost the preaching even is when all you hear about is prosperity with money, material things. You don't even hardly hear about your soul being prosperous. And if you're not talking about your soul prospering, what kind of prosperity are you talking about? See, the Bible showed us about the soul prospering, and then it showed us about the land here. And you wonder why they keep fighting over this land. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, around verse 40, the Most High gave the Israelites that command. He said, keep his decrees and his commands. He said it will go well with you and your children after you, and that you may live long in the land that the Most High give you. Even your children. Even when you look at the inheritance in the Bible, your children's children, which is your grandchildren, inheritance, land, property, it goes on and on and on. And most funerals nowadays, look at what happened when somebody dies or before they start getting the arrangements ready. Look at what most people do. Fight over who gonna get what. And when it comes to talking about property, it's always a fight between the family behind who gonna get the property. And it hurts my heart to see what I see nowadays, even in my neighborhood. I've been seeing it for years, how the older folks, when they get sick and up in age, are being put in a nursing home. They leave their children the houses, and the children can't even take care of business. They sit there and let the taxes go over and over and over, and they wind up losing the houses because some of them are strung out or whatever, don't want to work, whatever the situation is. You have been blessed more than you think you have. And once again, if you know who you were and what they owe you, you wouldn't be walking around talking about you broke. Or you wouldn't keep marching. You wouldn't keep depending on the government. You wouldn't keep calling Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson every time something happened on the news. If we would wake up and come together, which it just ain't gonna happen. It ain't. We too busy fighting each other because we done been brainwashed so long because they have taught you in the public schools who you are not. They have always erased you on who you are. So they give you a little bit of what they think they supposed to call you. Black man. Nigga. Let's tell the truth. You've been brainwashed so long because, hey man, this is just how it is. Because they keep giving you movies like Roots. They keep giving you months like Black History Month. They keep talking about let's march. Let's do this. But when does the truth ever come out? It don't. Because they scared if we come to the truth, then they know it's over with for them. They know who I'm talking about. We won't even study. We won't even learn. We won't even come together unless it's somebody else murdered another black teen. Unless it's a funeral. the Most High said, my people will perish for the lack of knowledge. My people. My people. Let me say it again. My people. When you think about what I'm saying here, y'all, let's go back to Isaac. The Most High spoke to Isaac back in Genesis chapter 26 and 3. He said, stay in this land for a while. I'm going to be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants, I will give all these lands and will confirm the oath I swore to who? Your father Abraham. When you go back to Abraham, that's where it started. Look how many people won't even go back to Deuteronomy, go back to the Old Testament, and learn who they are. It's sad, y'all. He spoke it in the Old Testament. He also spoke to Jacob. The reason why I keep saying these names is because I'm going back to Abram, whose name was changed into Abraham. Sariah, whose name was changed into Sarah. We know Jacob, whose name was later translated over to Israel. The Lord spoke to Jacob in Genesis chapter 28. Told Jacob, same similar words. I am the Lord. I am the God of your father Abraham, the God of Isaac. I will give your descendants the land on which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth. You will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All people on earth will be blessed through your offspring. That's why I said earlier, what happened generation after generation after generation? Mental slavery. We still walking around talking about the white man. We still talking about, man, you know, hey, man, ain't gonna get no better. We still walking around with this Willie Lynch syndrome. Because they brainwash you. They put you against your own brother. It's sad. And to this day, we still shooting each other, fighting each other, not loving each other, because we done been in the habit of doing it so long now that we just ain't gonna even come out of it. These fake Jews now been robbing, been stealing, been taken. They don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to know what's promised to you. So they keep you in slavery. Once again, they give these movies like Roots. Or look at all these black reality shows that's on now. Look at all the women that's in there. All they do is degrade each other, talk about each other, and then look at the ones with the men in there. All they do is fight each other. You see them, housewives of Atlanta, all these housewives, hip-hop of Atlanta, all this mess that nobody ever get along in, and they just use that to show you how, and you use that to continue to show them how stupid you're going to be. And when reality is, we are smart. We're very handy. We was the best carpenters. We build. If we would know who we are, y'all. That's why they don't want you to know. Their job is to continue to keep you not knowing who you are. And I'm not prejudiced in no kind of way. I say that because there's a lot of black people that don't like white people. I don't have no problem with color. I love you. I'm just speaking what's real. I'm speaking what they always want to leave out. That's why when you look at the Ten Commandments movie or any one of these movies, it's never no color of a black man in there. They always going to give you that other color. This color. I'm not going to do no video about color, but just look at it. Even in the cartoons. Whatever it's always a picture of you not being in there. It's sad to leave out, who you really are. But that's how they keep you once again. Oh, I got to say this to the women. They keep changing your image because you keep buying all this hair looking like somebody else. When the Bible already said you were wonderfully made. You spending all this money on cosmetics and hiding your real beauty. I understand people got to do what they got to do. I'm not knocking what you do. Do what you got to do to make yourself look good. But understand already you was looking good. And you covering up, you changing up the image of what the Most High have already, created you to be. So they give you these magazines. So because they know if they can change your image, if they can change the way you look, then after a while they can change the way you think, they can change the way you act. That's why so many of us are still acting so stupid. I ain't going to say ignorance, because ignorance just simply means not knowing. But when you know better, you should do better. When you know better, you still doing the same thing. You just being plain stupid. So they keep you in slavery. Keep you lost. Keep you messed up. So keep marching. Keep wanting justice. Why in the hell would you want justice in the world you don't even supposed to be a part of? What you mean, JT? The Bible say be in the world but not of the world. That's why you don't see JT posting videos about justice. Because I understand that this is Satan's world. Why would I want justice in the world like this? When the Most High already told us to hold on. Those that endure to the end shall be saved. I'm not looking for justice from the Supreme Court or whoever, because they all messed up. When you break it down, look at the White House. It's all demonic. Look at the Supreme Court. Just take a good look at what they're doing. They're allowing everything that the Bible say don't do, and calling it normal. So why in the hell would you look for justice in this? You want this to be right. It's not going to ever be right. But what will be right is when the Most High straighten all this up, y'all. That's why I said you can keep calling Al Sharpton. You can keep calling Jesse Jackson when they gun down another team or whatever else happened. But you know what's going to happen after that? Another one going to get gunned down. It's going to continue to happen. The system is all messed up. In the Old Testament, when you look at the Old Testament, you look at laws and consequences. You see a whole lot of wrong. But then in the new covenant, you see more of what? Grace and mercy. Most of us don't have a clue that land is so important. We don't even look at land now. We don't let these prosperity preachers just brainwash you. And it's sad. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. This is not to fuss. But in the Old Testament, you look at some connecting points between land. Look at land and life. You could even say theology. But this is what you ain't taught. Passover. But you are taught Easter. It ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. You were taught holidays, not holy days. If most of us knew what the Passover, let me give you one that a prosperity preacher probably won't never tell you. First fruit offerings. In gathering. How are you teaching tithing? You're not even teaching first fruit offerings. See, something is wrong with that. Look at the harvest, the end of harvest. Look at how important rain is. Rain showed you the grace of the Most High. And then you will see a drought. When you saw that drought, it was a time of testing. We're in a drought right now of the word, y'all. So ownership, land, property is so important. So important, y'all. That's why I have to just kind of slow down and say this about the land. Because Hollywood gives you their picture of fortune and fame and all the celebrities and what they got. And we really think they're just so rich. And every time you turn around, they're in trouble like that. But these fake Jews, they know the truth. And they once again are trained to keep you from knowing the truth. When you go to Revelation, what does the Bible teach you? And it teaches you in Revelations 2 and 9. What does it say about these fake Jews? It says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which they say they are Jews, and they are not. But what are they? They are the synagogues of Satan. He said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. So they lie. He said he's going to make them come and worship before your feet. But we too busy looking at flesh and blood. What does Ephesians 6 and 12 say? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Y'all, we have to understand that when the Most High made a covenant with Abraham, it goes all the way up. See, it's some things in the Bible that has not happened yet. It goes all the way up to now. What's going on now? What you see going on is a big old family feud. See, Abraham messed up when him and Sarah got ahead of the Most High and came up with Ishmael. I ain't got time to go into that, but maybe we'll do that in another video. But y'all know what I'm saying. The Most High still blessed Ishmael, but look at how much trouble that caused when you get ahead of God, the Most High Yah. So many people try to get ahead of the Most High right now, and we make a big mistake when we do that. A big mistake. The Most High blessed Abraham. Once again, when you back up to Genesis 12:3, he said, "And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in these shall all families on the earth be blessed." The Most High made that happen. But once again, that scripture is so misinterpreted, y'all. It's very misinterpreted. Excuse me. You know, because so many people. Let me say it like this: the reason why he blessed Abraham, because Abraham was a righteous man. He became the Most High's friend, and to me, it's a stupid doctrine to teach people that the Most High gonna bless those who bless wicked people. I heard that teaching. Oh man, you know, the Most High gonna bless those who bless the wicked. Why would the Most High bless those who bless the wicked? And the Most High have a problem with wickedness. So I've heard people take that scripture to say that. Now, once again, the Most High does use the wicked to bless the righteous. But why would the Most High use the righteous to bless the wicked? When the wicked is blessed by Satan. That's my time, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day.